or next to nothing. So he has more taps than he'll ever go through in his whole life, many lifetimes.
I've got at least 3 sets.
I own 3 taps now.
Me
I
too.
have tripled my taps just
Coming to my meeting. Your meeting.
just coming to a meeting. Okay. Oh, look, it's a thing. Jim's doing stuff.
I'm amazed that we played the video and it didn't blow up. That was amazing.
It was a little slow.
I just put something up for entertainment purposes.
If our toy needs more than what?
10 minutes to
Oh yeah, then we need to do other stuff.
schedule.
Somebody did send an inquiry to the meetup about doing a presentation, and I threw them in the dirt. Basically, it's some vendors want to come in and do a presentation.
Oh,
You got the wrong idea what goes
Wait,
on here.
Is it good stuff? And do they have swag?
Yeah.
That would be good.
But if they want to do a 30-minute or an hour presentation,
Sometimes they give away nice stuff.
Yeah.
okay.
Just saying. A drone.
I didn't see that one.
Leo wants to do something regard with his beehive where they go certain directions depending on whether the light senses a mite on them. That would be interesting. It's more than I ever wanted to know about bees, but I'm
One of the
highly
vendors gave away a
intrigued the more we
500
talk
solid
about
state drive the other day.
I wonder how big a mite is if he
Can't be
can
too big on the back,
right,
on
me
the back
and
of
that
the
dog
bee.
did.
Riding on a bee.
Because the bee
They
is
would be mighty small.
mighty.
Oh!
Don't encourage
He's
him.
working hard. Please tip your waitresses.
Alright, it's like sometime now.
But the
I guess
Bob
it's
that
time
was
to be-
here, He has
Meeting.
hives too, and they
Yeah.
have differing views.
He's not paying no attention.
Why hives decline.
Meeting. I'm Leroy.
I'm Mike.
I'm like,
I'm Kenny. Steve.
Jim.
John.
Barry.
Well,
I bet you Vicente will be here.
Mike.
Well, my quadcopter came out of the tree. I at least had
Yeah, that's-
something.
that's a
I
big
did share
thing.
something.
After 9 months.
I worked on nothing really. This week was not productive very much at all.
yeah.
I learned how to clean out my heat dissipation in my laptop. I just used an air thing and blew it out.
Oh, it worked.
Yeah, looks like you go in the exhaust first, and then go the other way, depending on how you're configured. And sometimes it comes out through your keyboard. Some of them miss through the keyboard. Thought that
So
was
you take
interesting.
that air and dust clouds come out.
Yeah, and also you have to be careful not to, when you put it in the exhaust, don't over rev the fan.
Oh.
A real light fan in there.
He had
I've
another.
heard lots of people say that, and I've over-revved a lot of fans and never
never had a
seen
problem.
an issue.
Uh,
I mean,
I
sometimes
actually like
how
the
fast
way it
can
makes
I get it
the
to go?
He had,
Yeah, it sounds
he had
like-
another.
Lets you
band
know that
at
it's
his,
spinning well.
mailbox 2 days ago.
Nice.
Yeah, I had the mailbox fan. This time, when you have one, I realize now I can catch them because they're going through all the mailboxes. They're going to be there for a while. So I went down the road, and sure as hell, there he was. And he pulled off the road and went down a little side street. Well, I went down a little side street too, and intimidated him with the camera, and he turned around and left because he figured. And then I went out to the road and tried to follow him a little bit. He took off like a bat out of hell.
Did you get a shot of his license plate?
I did, but not with the camera I had with me. And when he had pulled off the road at my house, if somebody comes up behind him, he pulls off the road.
It's Mr.
He pulled into my
Vicente.
driveway.
Mike.
That's
Oh,
the
nice.
That's the only way I got his license plate. We'd send a note to the.
I would have parked across the end of the driveway and just called 911 from there.
Taps.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do next time.
Taps.
I said, you know, why am I doing this?
He's
This
got
is crazy.
lifetime
It
supply.
fits my description, of course.
State sale for nothing.
We
So-
do. Speaking of over revving, my brother was in a naval squadron that tracked submarines, and they were out
Yes,
on
we
a
do this.
mission and realized they didn't have an empty tape reel. Wasn't the plane he was in, but another one. And the guy said, "Oh, no problem." Stuck a screwdriver through the middle of it, started throwing tape out into the slipstream on the airplane.
He has 20
He's-
cents that he bought from
he's holding
goes
on to
the
it.
state sale.
Worked really good until I got down there and the reel disintegrated,
Yeah, I imagine.
just shattered.
Which one cost $20?
None of these.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, they ain't coming here.
Saw a
They're up,
detour
they're up,
somewhere.
they're up for if you want them. So the $20, they're staying.
The product, there was only one of them. It's a 7/8 inch.
Look at Vicente's fancy watch.
You do your heartbeats and all that stuff?
Can
No.
you tell the time? No.
Morse code
What time is
or
it?
binary.
It's binary.
I know.
Is that Vulcan time?
Yeah.
Uh,
You got anything going on this week,
Well, it depends on
Mr.
which way I hold
Vicente?
it.
What?
You got anything going on this week? 'Cause
No,
It doesn't seem like this week was
my
very
colors
productive.
are working finally, but I couldn't bring them. I still need to connect them to a microcontroller. The problem was to make the
How can you
weather
read the
tour
time?
the 90 degrees.
yeah.
There are two tiny distances for calibration. I finally made a 3D printing stuff.
His drone fell out of the tree with the storm. After 9 months, it works.
So now I got two perfectly working drones.
Doesn't
Did
seem
you
like
damage
anybody
by
was
rain?
overly productive this week, though. Really,
I thought
I
it was
just got
weird.
back from vacation. What do you want?
I don't know. I want to be able.
What time is it?
Um,
I'm gonna go with
5:39. Well, digital and digital. Which one do we want to read?
Super digital,
Extra digital.
extra nerdy.
I did actually.
20 something at Amazon.
Now, how do you read the?
Oh,
read that?
this is easy.
Binary.
Oh, binary,
Hour are five letters.
Got you.
No, sorry, for 1 to 12. Now it's 5. 1, 0, 1, 5.
60-mile range.
And then
Yeah, you
it's
did.
Down
Were you not here last week?
$10.
No, I was in
20 something at Amazon.
Myrtle Beach.
Maybe cheaper from China.
Yeah.
I didn't read the whole entire article, but
So you went to
sounds like
Myrtle
a
Beach
60-mile
instead of here?
range.
Oh, man.
I mean, we could launch it in space and still control it.
Means you could do all kinds
Is
of
that
things.
why we're worried about space pirates already?
Maybe.
I saw where they were talking about the the senator was talking about the space program or whatever the other day. And like a lot of my friends are into it, like everybody wanted to be a space marine,
Yeah.
You are.
and then they were talking about space pirates. It's like nobody wants to be a space marine anymore. Everybody wants to be the space pirates.
You can have it.
You want the bottle back?
Want the bottle back?
You just take what you need and leave the rest.
You want them all, you can take
What
them.
the size of those?
What is the size?
Metric?
4 by 40.
4 by 40.
Metric.
Number 4
Number
by
4.
40.
40 foot.
You can take them all if you want.
No, but I have a kid.
He's gonna have 4 lifetime supply if he takes 4 of those.
4 of those.
Remote desktop in Chrome, a couple of Chromebook things, remote desktop has moved. You don't have to load the app anymore. You can just run that app off the website.
And that's a
And
end
that's
tab.
easier if you're trying to show a newbie how to use remote desktop. You just he can load it directly from the website. That's an enhancement. and it looks like version 25 of Chrome's operating system is going to include a reader mode, and you have to trick it to turn it on. But that's interesting to me. It's a verbal reader, I assume.
Like text
I
to
like
speech.
I like the text-to-speech reading. I used mine from 2006 today to read that stuff. And they got a mythical form of space propulsion. They're trying to see if it's true, where they use microwave in a engine or propulsion system in space. Now the reason it's important to do that, because you don't have to have fuel as a means of propulsion. You send a spaceship into space, and you have to have some sort of fuel to burn to get propulsion. This takes microwaves, which you can generate from a thermopile or from some solar cells, and you can get propulsion from an engine that doesn't use fuel.
Well, I looked at that, and it's not necessarily fuel, it doesn't use mass.
Right.
You're not throwing mass out the back end to
Well,
accelerate.
which means fuel. If you got mass, that means you
Yeah.
have fuel somewhere.
Let's say if you
Okay.
have a
Didn't they try
uranium
that?
reactor
Like
that's,
in the 50s?
that's your
Well,
fuel
it's
source.
in the
you're not throwing
ion
it out the back.
thing or
Right.
whatever.
Can I dump the energy
connect to
source?
this
Yes.
thing?
Yeah, then that's the trouble
Yeah.
with uranium.
No, you should
You
be
can
able to-
use a thermopile or whatever, but you where's your engine? You got no engine.
Oh.
That's why this is
You
important.
mean,
They're not optimistic about
Connected
this,
to
but
us,
it may
right?
open the door to something else.
I thought it was interesting that
Connect here.
current technology is not sensitive enough to measure
Exactly.
the thrust provided by that.
Well, it's so minuscule, right?
Yes.
Because that was the whole thing with the ion thrust
Into-
engine too, was it was so minuscule they could measure it. The model workup they did manage to finally show that it does like some micro whatever watt forward thrust.
Do you have?
But again, you're throwing mass
Mine's
out
just
the,
right
out the
there.
back,
Go-
and
go back into
eventually
your
if you're going
settings.
50,000 light years to Alpha Centauri.
Yeah.
You're
But
going
it-
to run out of.
The mass that you're
Electrons.
throwing out is the
Well,
mass
that's-
that's in space.
Technology.
As I say, you
They take
essentially have to
70,000
slow down.
years to get Alpha
50,000.
Centauri. 50,000.
It's four
Long
light
day.
years.
Long damn time.
Well, we can get there
Oh,
faster than that.
no, that's probably screen mirroring.
1,000 years.
So people actually look at some of this stuff, man. I'm shocked. Well, you not so much.
Wait a minute.
Hey
Do
Frank,
something.
my quadcopter came down, Frank. 9 months.
came down.
Yeah, it was in the tree.
Oh,
It's been in
okay.
the tree for 9 months.
Okay.
My GPS quadcopter, do you ever see that one?
No, I
Hmm.
think
Flew
I
it
did.
out
I
here
don't
one
know.
day.
Yeah, that's
Try
right.
to
You
go
had it,
home
you had it.
back.
That
See
thing
if-
is back
see if it shows up
after
in
9
Google.
months in
Mhm.
the tree.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. Wow. The original video was perfect. It shows me landing it in the top of a tree. Successful.
That's the
I
name.
pushed the land button
Should just
instead
be-
of the home button.
Still have,
Should just be.
they still have charge in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
No,
up
no,
real
no,
above
Google
too.
Home.
Yeah.
Not a great charge, but it was still, the lights were still blinking at night, he said. and
The
tree
lights
was down.
blinked at night for months.
You look out the
People
window
probably
and see
thought it was aliens out there in the tree.
Well, they know I live over there, so
Probably needs updated.
Even they go through your mailbox.
yeah.
Okay.
There aren't aliens standing in
What,
line.
you giving those to them?
Well, if you want one, yeah.
Of course.
If you don't want to, no.
No.
Only if you
I don't
want.
know if that matters.
No, mine just shows up.
You probably never used
No,
one of these.
no.
Now, now when it opens,
He bought a ton of them out of an estate sale. He said one of them cost $21. Not one of these, but
Any chance there were any Whitworth taps in there?
There was a green,
I
I think it's
don't know what it
Greenfield,
see, he knows what.
Okay.
and no, I don't
Like
believe
you
any
do.
of them, I believe they were
Whitworth
all,
tap.
national course or national fund.
Okay.
There was an eighth inch, pipe thread.
Mm-hmm.
Only a couple of dies, and they were.
You need settings.
I used to work on old British bikes, DSAs and Triumph, and I have a nearly complete set of Woodworth taps. I'm missing two.
I picked up a 1906 tap and die set from up in Greenfield, and
It won't
it had.
work today.
Well, it's really nice. It doesn't look like it's ever been used. It still has the sign that's used.
Shouldn't be
Is
the,
this a total device?
it shouldn't be this hard. It should just show up.
All that's dried up and it's like
Yeah.
driving it off.
Heard of beef tallow,
I have
but
a
never
half-inch
sheep tallow.
12
Try this
tap.
out.
And now it's
That's
half-inch 13.
exactly what I was getting ready to
Maybe
tell
we're
you.
missing something.
I've got, one of those was in there. A half by 13, a half by 20, a half by 12.
Yeah, yeah, and they don't even do half by 12 anymore. It's completely gone.
I believe the only thing that was common about that was in that era, engine blocks for head gaskets and head bolts were half by 12.
Mm-hmm. Also, the finales on iron fences.
Really?
Yeah, so if you know anybody that
What's the
does that
name
sort
of
of work,
the casting?
they would
It's
appreciate
Meeting
that.
TV.
I made my
Meeting
own half by
TV.
12 tap because I bought a house with an iron fence.
Wow.
You could do anything, Steve.
I have a lathe.
No, I mean the
It
I
was
thought
one of
that
the
was
few
really
things that
Oh, it's a
Sandy let me
Procast.
buy that was expensive because it was a tool that could make tools.
Okay.
I went to an estate sale about 2 or 3 years ago, and they had a really nice Atlas lathe.
It should
And
just
they
show
wanted
up.
$250 for it.
Oh.
Well,
Maybe
that's
it's
a lot of money. It takes us time.
You wish you would have bought it now.
I came home and looked it up, and it's like they're going
Maybe
for
we're having,
$750 to $1,000. I've
Yeah.
been kicking myself all the way ever since.
I've got an Atlas drill press.
It's not,
A
no.
little loosey-goosey these days, but still works.
It can be tightened up if you're willing to work on it. All the bushings and stuff are still available.
This lathe had all of the tooling, had the metal desk that it was sitting on, had crap that was in all of the drawers, boxes and stuff. It was like,
That was like,
Yeah, I wish
you
I'd
didn't
been
know
there
what
with
you.
you.
He'd have taken advantage of that deal.
well, it was
Said
one of
true.
those things where, you know, I really don't need
automation
a big lathe taking up
Yeah.
more space in the garage.
And it says it didn't find any new device.
It would be nice to have about once every 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, renting time on the lathe is not inexpensive.
My little homemade wood lathe is,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's YouTube. How many?
That's multi-purpose. You can use it to get on the roof.
55.
55,000. You're making money on that now, aren't you?
No, I gave the rights to that to Matthias Wandell in
Sure,
Canada.
you're
Yeah.
connected to the
Really?
right place.
Mhm.
Via the Wi-Fi.
Remember you talking about him up in Canada. He produced it, didn't
Yeah, you're
Well,
connected.
Julie shot the video, and I sent him some additional footage, and then
Surprised
he
it
edited
didn't
it
show
down
up.
and narrated it. And he has an insane number of followers, so I think I have no idea how many he's got, but I know that he was making a living off of his YouTube channel.
Was that right?
Yeah, lately he seems to
So
not
you're
appreciate.
familiar with it?
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm one of his followers. But lately he seems to not appreciate his followers too much. I don't know.
Apparently there's a game guy that out of Milford, he moved to Hollywood, he makes buku bucks. Can't remember what the guy, he was in town, but he makes many thousands of dollars doing this stuff on.
You can do that mirror casting, right?
Alright.
Yeah, mirror.
He grew up in
I can turn
Milford,
mirror casting on.
Started it here and he ended up moving to Hollywood or LA. Continued it.
What's the name?
Is that what was on the news a couple days ago?
Yeah. He makes
There were some kids at lunch that were talking about that.
thousands,
was-
he's wealthy, he's wealthy
Yeah.
now. He has millions of followers.
Plays haunted video games or something.
Yeah.
It's Mira
I didn't catch what they were talking
MIR.
about, but I knew they were talking about some kid from a school, and he says,
MRIR?
"This kid goes to school with us."
But he does stuff like pictures of a guy getting his back
Try
waxed,
that.
getting stuff, weird stuff.
Yeah.
So he has a whole variety of stuff, but he's making
You
more
should-
money than Jesus Christ.
Weren't you able to
Yeah.
mirrorcast before?
Well, look at the lady
With
that
the,
opens Disney toys. She's YouTube's biggest profiter and makes $12 million a month
A month.
or something like that. Yeah.
Opening Disney
with
toys?
the-
Opening Disney toys. She comes out with like a video every day, like some like 15-minute clip of a Disney toy that they open and shows what's in the box and plays with it for a couple minutes, and
Just a little rich Chinese kid just doing the same thing.
probably. But I was like, when I looked at it a couple years ago, she was the highest profiter video streamer on
I don't know.
YouTube.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was like, that's insane.
It's,
No way. I have a video of the encoders working, but
We're having
no way to link to the.
we're having screencasting issues.
you know, after one or two
Leroy
toys,
has a monopoly of
it'd be boring, you know.
Well, I guess if you're a parent or you want to see what kid for whatever age group, what comes in the box, I mean, I couldn't believe there'd be like 2 and 3 million hits on every freaking video she had. I was like, just for craps and giggles, I was seeing what she did, you know, for that kind of money she was making off YouTube. I was like, what does she do, you know?
With those toys.
You know, I was like, all she does is open Disney box toys.
That wasn't where your mind was going, I think.
There's something that the grandkid, she sits there and watches
Commercials.
this grown up lady sitting there playing with PJ Masks toys.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
And it's like,
just
she's
sitting
like the
going,
highest
She's
profited
making millions a
person on
month.
YouTube.
Tell you your time.
Millions
Like
a
12
month.
million.
I don't think it's the same lady. I think
Isn't
it's
it?
a different lady. Because
Yeah.
it's not, PJ Masks isn't Disney, is it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh.
No, in the world of cartoons anymore, it's probably all owned by Disney.
But
Yeah, they
I'm
own a
sitting
lot
there
of
going,
stuff now.
I sit here and play with her all the time. I should just film it and put it on YouTube.
Oh, so that's
If you go
You know?
We come up with all kinds of great adventures. I should just film this and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, people watch it. People are nuts.
so that's
There's the secret key
so
right
one of the
there.
doors open, so you know that's fine.
this is something that I do with
4
my
and
kids.
1's on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the secret key right there.
32, 16, 8.
8, 4, 2,
I
1.
understand now.
And so you add it up, that's
Yeah.
3. That's 1 and 4, it's 5. What's the bottom number is 7 or 8? Wait a minute. No, that's the weight is higher.
The weight.
1, 2, 4, 8, 16. No, it's more bits.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's
It's
1,
real binary.
5, and that's 12, and 16 is I don't know,
25 on the bottom.
28. 1. Oh, it's, okay, change.
Yeah.
1, that's 7, and 16 is 23.
Generally easier to add them going the other way. 16 and 8 is 24.
Yep. Plus 1's 25.
I
Okay.
see 3, 20,
This right now it's
25.
325.
325.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you look at it now compared to what's on the corner, you should.
Well, that's not the watch. That's just an
That's
image.
not the real watch. That's,
That's,
just a static display of.
Yeah, but
that's-
I'm
that's
saying,
the-
what does it say compared to the time on the right-hand corner at the bottom?
oh, the watch is off? You
I
trying
don't
to say?
know.
It should be syncing to the same
Right-hand-
thing.
It means
The
I
right-hand
give up my
corner
bottom, you know.
On the bottom says wiki
Give up
how to
bottom
read a
and the
binary
green
clock.
numbers.
4 and 2 is 6.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna make my high school kids do this.
Frank's going.
They're gonna love you.
Frank's going to go. Wait, there's more because this is real binary clock, right?
4 and 1.
And this is
Oh dear Lord.
Ford one is 5.
this is a BCD clock. It's a lot easier to read. Lot easier to read.
I've got one of those.
Well, do you have
Plus
one up there in
16.
hex?
Plus
I could
I
find
was
a
thinking
hex
that
clock.
one that was a little further down.
32 plus 16
A little
plus
further
8.
up.
What is that?
What's the one with the
Up.
encoder wheel?
That one.
In the middle, yeah.
That's just another form of binary.
That's probably absolute
It's a
position
time clock with
encoder.
the hands on it.
Yeah.
I see
Oh,
hour,
yeah.
minute, and second hands.
Yeah. So that
Okay.
should be easy enough to read too. If you,
Are you
it
using
looks
the word-
like there's 3,
so you
6.
0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
So you've got 1,
Oh,
2,
God.
4, 8, 16, 32 for your minutes, and you've got 4 bits for your hours.
If you had 32,
The inner
16,
circle is
and
4
8,
bits
what is
wide.
that?
So it's the same. It's the same clock as what he's got. It's just
All on.
in a round
63.
circle.
Nice.
The lights, there's an indicator.
Less 5 in this case.
5,
Less 5.
63,
58.
58.
Frank's got to write it
558.
down.
That's better subtract.
Can't forget that. You gotta
Depending on
keep the kids on their toes.
They need to learn this.
Yeah.
So
They
the
need to
whole
learn
bottom
binary
number, if
anyway.
you add all that.
Oh, I know, it's
64,
Hex and octal.
I play with them a lot, the-
Another one
These-
that doesn't exist.
Okay.
These ones here.
Yep, you're
This
right.
is a
That's
binary
right.
coded decimal. It's a lot easier to read because you only have to worry about 4 bits.
One of the guys that comes to
4
my
bits per
And after you
digit.
stare at it for a while and get used to it, it'd be like running an abacus. You just would learn. You see those kids using abacuses? They add up all those numbers lightning fast.
I think when it's 2 or more, it's abaci.
Abacus.
See,
I'm messing with you.
there's 1 bit on 1. There's no bits on 0.
He's gonna see the hip
There's
bottom of
the number. The 4 bit
4 and
is 4, and the 8 bit is 8. And then there's 2 bits on. That's 3, and then the 4 and the 2 bit are on. That's 6. So BCD is a lot easier to read. Of course, it helps that it's up there anyway.
Yeah.
I like 9's complement myself.
There's a. You want to get into
This is
some
good for
funky
fine
stuff.
Alzheimer.
Yeah.
There's a trinary clock.
Oh, trinary. Never heard of that.
I made a trinary clock.
Base
Wow.
3.
Didn't mean to.
I didn't mean to. No, no, I actually meant to. Yeah, I think it's base 3.
Now, I won't tell you AM or PM. I'm just kidding. You should know that just.
Well, sure it will because it's 24-hour time. So of course it will tell you AM or PM.
Oh, okay.
This guy, I made one after following that project, but it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
So
It's all good.
just pull chains here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I know enough to know that you guys are fairly new.
Yes. So the first time, so we went to some other place, and we are driving down from Marietta right now. So that's why it took a long time.
Okay. Well, we encourage people to come in late, so that's good.
Yeah, you're right on time.
Especially in the summertime, people fill rooms late.
So we actually
Where'd you
really.
drive from? So although we live in
No
Kenwood, but we had to
devices.
drop our daughter to Marietta.
Are you
It's
sure it's
about,
the
like,
right
3.5 hours
network?
away,
Oh, southeast Ohio,
Yes.
Marietta.
and then we
Oh,
came
he's
back.
finally here.
That's a far. That's pretty far away. You gotta have Marietta.
Yeah, so we left this morning. I left from office this morning and came back.
Okay, yeah, this is the Automation Technology Club. I'm the president. I'm Jim, and this is Vice President Leroy. He's kind of
yes.
in
Yeah,
charge
he's-
these days. We're very informal. I'll get you to sign in if you want to get our newsletter.
Okay.
Also gives you an idea of what's going on. Leroy records all the meetings, and you're able to, if you miss it, you can, if you want to, you can go view the meeting and archives them and all kinds of stuff. We're freedom from fear environment. Everybody, anyone here can volunteer to do a demonstration, and we appreciate people that do that. So, what's your name?
Deepak.
Deepak?
Deepak.
Oh, okay, you're the one that sent the note to.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was me, the non-committal guy. And your interest is, what are you interested in?
Interested in making the small electronic project, so to say, right?
Okay.
And with my son Pranav, he is getting into 9th now, so and we just invested into an Arduino startup kit. So I
Nice.
started to play with that, and that's where we're getting some ideas from you and Leroy. We wrote and.
Okay.
Usually we have a
I
little
mean, these are very early stage projects, so I don't know if there'll be any interest to you, but
Did you get the blink working yet?
not.
You done
You
Blink?
did?
Got Blink going.
Yeah, that's good for
Start.
doing it. You Arduino?
Yep.
The Uno?
It's the Mega 2560 kit, so I don't know.
It's a Mega.
It's a Mega.
Mega.
Okay, yeah, I've got a couple of Mega. This guy's got, how many Megas you got?
One or two.
A couple hundred.
I know his profile said
has
Arduino and Raspberry Pi, you know, a specialist in that, so that's where we thought we can write to him and seek some ideas.
Yeah, we have some of our guys do the Raspberry Pi thing, are interested in Raspberry Pi. I'm stuck in the Arduino days for what little I do these days, but it's very interesting and good. You'll see the projects. We do have on our website, can we do the website? Let's see, let me connect back up.
But I have the monopoly on stupid questions. So you can't ask.
No, people know better than that. I have that. I usually not paying
Well,
attention.
we will be asking a lot of questions because this is brand new. I mean, I have done something in past, like making some preamplifiers and those kind of things, but that is going back like 25, 30 years. And I don't know if you remember, like Philips kit used to be there, and soldering all the transistors and everything on a PCB, right?
Heathkit, did you do Heathkit?
Kids.
Yeah.
It's kids.
Yeah.
So, and now people don't even know what is a heat sink, for example. So everything is so miniaturized and
It's all on one spec.
yeah. So I'm very glad there's some club like this, which is.
Is that me?
That's me.
Oh, okay.
I actually have a stoplight simulator program, and I actually have a outlet box that has the wires coming out of the stoplights. You might be interested in that. And
Sure. Yeah.
I have 18 of them, so I can let you use it.
Okay.
Come back next time, I'll bring it.
Yeah.
So let's see, scroll down to the quick links. The club calendar is on Meetup, and you know that's a link. You'll get this every week with our meeting. We meet every week. The quick club links, club quick links, club calendar, meeting announcement. That's this document. If you ever
Okay.
see what we're writing in the next meeting announcement, you can go to this and see it's live.
Right. Right.
Sometimes it doesn't get updated like this week to the last minute. A link to meeting videos, that's Leroy's. So if you want to watch a
Oh.
particular video, if you're not,
Yeah.
if you miss a meeting,
That'd be nice.
the club website's there. It gives you our background, what we're all about. Basically, it's freedom from fear. Provide knowledgeable people providing information to other people that are interested in.
What is the link for this, or if I just Google it, can I find it?
I'll send you when you
Okay.
sign in.
Sign
I'll
up,
sign
yeah,
up. I'll
yeah, okay.
send you the link to this, and you'll be able to get to all this. Club member participation notes. In the past, people have their own folder if you want it, where you can put your kits and things that you do. You might be interested in some of mine because they're very low level, and some of them are interesting. And let's see, scroll down some, Leroy. We have some news and stuff like that we put up. How to use Google Chrome's hidden reader mode and various topics. Scroll on down some.
I'm working on it. It's going.
It's delayed.
Yeah, keep on going to, yeah. There's the link to the member projects. And Jim's Corner, that's my area. Leroy's got stuff, and he probably points to other places too. And scroll down some more.
Leroy still needs a capital
Marcus
R.
Ray.
Oh, got to.
And we got books over the internet and that sort of stuff. We moved everything up back to the top.
Yeah.
Okay. This will be very helpful. I mean, this is exactly, I think, what we're looking for.
Okay. You got a lot of people here with some good expertise.
Right.
A lot of people have been into everything, as we found out today. This guy, that guy, this guy here, and Vicente, yeah.
You bring up a topic you think nobody, and boy, somebody chimes in, they know.
Well, the interesting group. It's made for fun. We have fun. And I'll get your sign-in information,
Sure.
and we'll get you fixed up and turn the meeting back over to Leroy.
Thank you.
Leroy still doesn't have much.
We still don't have much time. We have an open forum today, so we're kind of slow.
Last time you were talking about
Losing free.
this chip that had 2 cores.
Oh, the ESP 8260 or 32.
Yeah, can those things run asynchronous?
I didn't hear the question, Frank.
That ESP32 secure.
Okay.
I guess I came in late, and the thing that came to mind was that they probably had some libraries that let you do encryption and stuff like that. And usually this encryption stuff takes a lot of horsepower, and it had that second core, so I was wondering if you could dedicate it to encryption and then synchronize stuff that's running on the other core.
This chip that they just announced a couple 3 weeks ago, it's supposed to only be a single core chip. But what I think they're done, I think they've showed all the heavy loading over into the second core and locked it off so you can't,
Oh, okay, so you can't get to it.
well, so you can't change the program.
Yeah.
That's what I think they've done, because I'm
That
like,
makes sense.
I'm sitting there reading some of this stuff and I'm going, how are they doing that with a single core dealy bob?
Well, yeah, if you've offloaded
If you've
all your
offloaded it over,
communication to
because the
one core,
ESP32 is a dual core thing, but if they're only giving you access to a single core, that means a lot of the software's running in the second core. I think.
it makes perfect
I think.
sense. You
Since
probably-
nobody's gotten this thing yet, nobody knows how it works.
I still didn't hear Frank's question though.
It's a ESP32 is a multi-core processor, which means it's got 2 processors running.
Yes.
And usually these things are not powerful enough to do encryption, decryption kind of in real time as you're trying to communicate with, let's say, this network. But if you could split it up and you could have one core working on, let's say, encryption and the other doing the natural processing, synchronize it, you may be able to do a good job of, if you have an Internet of Things kind of application,
Well, this
actually doing encryption with the network. In general, these things are too slow to be using encryption.
Yeah, this one's supposed to be 240 megahertz too. But this one right here is the one that I want more than anything else. I'd love to get that time of flight of Wi-Fi package, so you could do distance off of it.
And then what?
Well, you have one of these on your robot, right?
Okay.
And you would
okay.
know the distance from your router, and you would know where it's located at inside of a room, more or less.
I don't know that I trust that.
Well, see how well it works.
The
right?
robot's moving also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you'd have a map.
But you could have a map built into it. It's got plenty of memory. I mean, you know, got a lot of memory.
Nobody will ever need more than 16 K.
Yeah, we'll never need.
I remember that.
What's the opposite of normal? What
Normal.
it says here, support for town flight issues with normal Wi-Fi packets.
Well, okay.
There's some really wonky.
My understanding of this time of flight thing is the new spec for Wi-Fi 6 will support it. So the old Wi-Fi that we've got now doesn't support it. So I don't know what normal means. Normal may mean normal Wi-Fi 6 packets. Because that would, my guess is the sense that Wi-Fi 6 supports it, that's what it's actually going to use.
There's some funny stuff out there like band hopping and multi-frequency and
Yeah, but
yeah. But as I was saying, I would assume that it's just talking stock
Normal.
IEEE Wi-Fi traffic.
yeah, but I'm. It doesn't say specifically version 6,
Yeah.
Wi-Fi 6 or whatever.
Oh,
But
well,
I'm assuming that it's Wi-Fi 6 since that's what it's supposed to
Wi-Fi.
support it. Yeah.
They use the existing libraries, or there's some additional, or there are no libraries.
This stuff is supposed to be built in, so I'm guessing no libraries.
Built into like firmware. Oh, okay.
Well, there's probably going to be libraries
I think so.
that-
I think I got
to make it easy to actually use that stuff.
So someplace they're gonna tell you
Yeah,
how this
nice.
built-in stuff works.
I would hope so.
Okay.
They're actually pretty good about
How much
supporting
does
their
it
stuff.
cost?
Nobody knows.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting because when I think about all my ESP 80 or ESP 32 projects, I realize very few of them actually take advantage of the second core. So they're getting rid of the second core probably to do some of the heavy load.
Yeah.
And I don't really
Security.
think it's going to affect a whole lot of the projects that are out there.
Well, as
I mean,
crappy as Wi-Fi is for security anyway, it's almost a moot point. It's all broke. It is.
So-
They're all hacked. Even the next generation of Wi-Fi, they're already cracked.
So when you, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's what I was just saying. Is it's all already hacked, and it's not even a standard yet.
Well,
so.
when we talk about
That's the stuff you're interested in.
time of flight,
You don't-
what is that telling you? Just distance, or is it also telling you an angle somehow?
I don't know because I don't know how they've got it set up.
So I'm sorry, I missed something. Who's they in this?
Oh, this is expressive.
Okay.
New-
Expressive.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
new,
can't see quite that.
new chip.
Okay.
This is the ESP32
Okay.
S2,
S2, so that's the new one.
and hopefully they rename the thing before they actually
Well, you
release
don't
it.
want security too?
They've got an S. They've got an S, and it's a dual core.
Yeah.
And an S2 you'd think would be more advanced, which it is, but they've lost the core. They just need to rename it to something else. They just need
Yeah.
to call it something else.
So when you talked about time of flight, maybe a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, were you talking about this chip?
Maybe.
Okay. Are there
Yeah.
others? Are there other?
Well, usually when you think of time of flight, you're thinking of like LiDAR or
some light-
something like
yeah.
that.
And
They're doing it with the Wi-Fi packets. So it's 2.4 gigahertz instead of whatever that was, 500 nanometers or whatever that was.
Yeah, it's still pretty light though.
Yeah.
So they got op amps on the front end for this capacitive touch thing.
Yeah. ESP32 supports capacitive touch now.
I don't have any yet. So,
We need to get you an ESP32. I
no, I'm gonna get one. I was thinking about this one, but it's not out yet.
I've reached into in
So
my
time of flight he's talking about.
I reach into my box of microcontrollers. I'm usually grabbing an ESP8266. You were the first one I grabbed.
Well, that's the name.
Judge the distance. So,
I like the 32s, but until I started grabbing them and actually using them.
This would be time of flight.
And the 32s are a little bit more expensive. I mean, you can get a 8266 for a couple of dollars, and these are like $7 a piece.
I'll go $7.
Hey, you know me.
Shit, I know.
It can be hobbled together for $1.
This is interesting too. Adafruit has already said that they're going to support that for so you can plug it in and it can enumerate as a drive, or it can enumerate as a keyboard, or
So is that gonna be like 2.0 kind of speed?
probably.
What's the OTG?
On the go. So it's
It's one of the guys I was talking to.
like you need one of those adapters to actually make it.
Plug in.
Yeah, 'cause these are all OTGs. So if you could plug this in and it would enumerate as a drive or something.
Yeah. There was one of the kids I was talking to the other day. He's writing a
Wi-Fi standard
program to where
so he's calling it Wi-Fi 6.
he's wanting to, well, like programming it on a micro or USB stick, but it's he wants to put it in like a device where it will piggyback on like a hub in a device,
Wi-Fi station.
and it would be, you know, like a
There's other
Tool
microcontrollers that support USB. This one's just
So if you have a Wi-Fi station.
the
Well,
ESP32 doesn't, and this one does.
So here's the thing that's coming down the pike. There are people building. There was a guy that did this at DEF CON last year, or Black Hat or something, where they had actually interfaced with the chip on the charging cable for an iPhone, and were able to create like a keylogger on the charge cable.
What?
So when you plug something like this, gives you the feature that you'd be able to plug in and pretend to be something on a computer and actually execute malware
Yeah, that
for, yeah,
I've seen plenty of them that do
they're
that.
going that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's getting to be spooky.
Well, it's just
So-
one more thing that this thing's supposed to be able to do.
Well, that's one of the computers I got out of the auction. Actually, has like live firmware updating. Like you don't have to boot an OS anymore. You just stick in a USB stick with the firmware, and it can mount that firmware off that stick without loading an OS. That really threw me yesterday.
That's interesting.
So what kind of device was that?
It was a Dell Precision T5480 or
Okay, so that's like, it's
5810.
like a real computer.
Yeah, it's one of those big graphic workstation, Dell's big high dollar. Somebody sold it and it's still got a 1.5 years of auction or warranty on it. It came in a lot with a bunch of T30 or like 6-year-old 3600s. Really kind of surprised they're selling.
So yeah, I don't know.
Well, I don't have one of those. I need to get back into stuff, so it's a good place to start.
If you can get back in, you jump into the frontline technology. That's the only way to halfway pretend to keep up. Next week there'll be another one. Or in a month.
Anybody else got anything? Because this week was not a productive week for me. It really wasn't. It was. I woke up, I did stuff, I went to sleep. I woke up, I did stuff, but none of it was productive.
Well, one thing I'm learning is the lady down the street from me, she drives heavy equipment, so she's working on the Amazon site at the airport. So they have over there 900 acres. And I went to my cousin's on Sunday, and I could see it there. And she said that the building that they'll eventually have will be, they're not allowed to put any pipes or anything underneath the building at all. Everything right now, they're putting in a wide perimeter that's going to be the outside of the building. And what they're going to do is, I mean, Jeff Bezos was here last week, right, to do the groundbreaking on this. And they're going to land the planes and bring them right into the building, and then unload the planes and put them right on a truck somehow. I don't know if they're going to have I don't know how they're going to, the geometry of it all. But that's the plan, is to have all these Amazon planes come in, drive them into the building, and then unload them right into trucks.
Where will the planes be coming from?
Probably all over.
All over the world.
I'm just
This is
Delivery
probably
hub.
from wherever. I mean, I don't know wherever they're.
Are there, you don't have full-size aircraft?
I mean, Amazon did start a few years ago buying airplanes. You know, about
Well, that's-
3 years ago, they were already buying airplanes.
They're doing this at a airborne at Wilmington, aren't they?
No, what I'm talking
Oh.
about is CVG.
All CVG.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Delta had a big hub here, right, until they merged with Northwest, and then they kind of moved their hub from Cincinnati to Detroit. Well, before they moved their hub, they could land 3 planes over the Ohio River simultaneously, three north-south runways.
Okay.
And so my take, I mean, you know, not that I'm not connected or anything, but my take is they have all this capacity to land planes there since Delta left and moved their hub to Detroit. So,
Well, they have the whole Comcast.
I'm sorry?
They have the whole Comcast deck, don't they? It's all empty, vacant. Terminal B and and C.
Comair? Are you talking about Comair?
Yeah, Comair. Yeah,
Okay,
forgot.
yeah. What Comair was Terminal C.
Yeah.
And we used to have to take a bus out there back and forth. But yeah, they kind of did away with Comair, I think, and it was still a Delta hub, but it was all in the works that they were going to merge with Northwest. And when that happened, so I think CVG just has a lot of capacity to land and take off planes since Delta, you know, not that Delta completely left, but I mean, it was quite a bustling place when they had the hub, you know, when it was a big Delta hub before they merged before they got rid of Comair and all that and moved their hub. So anyway, I found it interesting when Renee my neighbor was telling me about the big haul roads that they've taken down all these trees all around there. And I couldn't really picture where it was. Didn't matter to me much, but I was on Route 18 going out to Burlington where my cousins live, and you know, there it was. You can see the control tower from there, but then I could see all their development, and all the land they've cleared there. I mean, it's a $1.5 billion project. I mean, a friend of mine looked it up on Google today when I was in his shop, and so they have a video of it and all that. But so anyway, that's kind of interesting, I thought.
So we're gonna be pretty heavily invested in Amazon in this area, it looks like.
Yeah, I think the state of Kentucky made a big push to get that going again, because there were a lot of jobs that were associated with the Delta hub here, and I think a good many of those, you know, went away when they moved. I can't remember when that was, but time goes by. It's probably been several years now since they merged with Northwest.
Well, they took over Wilmington Airport too.
That doesn't surprise me because they used to have
ELS, DLA.
Well, DHL.
Yeah,
It was
DHL.
Airborne Express and then
Airborne
DHL.
Express. DHL has a big thing at CVG also, but I haven't kept track.
Now, we have Amazon in Monroe now, right? We're getting Amazon in Monroe.
There's
Distribution center or something?
I know
Store?
there's a warehouse there, but are they using it yet?
I don't
They were
know.
talking about
They're
it in the
building.
Journal News today.
They have a big
They're
building.
hiring.
It's huge. It's a huge building.
The corner of Todd Hunter and Yankee Road, there's a big new facility there. And there's also one further where they extended Yankee Road across to 63. There's another building over there.
That's not where Amazon is. Amazon's back over behind the outlet mall.
Really?
Yeah. And
Over.
it's huge.
Now, is this where the other big warehouse is? Oh, it's over in that area. Okay.
So are you saying-
behind
Overall,
behind Wendy's? Okay.
behind Wendy's, there's the highway. They're like, a couple hundred yards off the highway, really.
So you're talking about east of 75?
Is that east? Yes. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Just barely.
And in Monroe, there are two huge warehouses being built near us.
The warehouses that are being built near you, there's actually going to be a third because Kroger's building a huge warehouse right there too.
Man,
And
Where's that compared to the Xerox warehouse?
Kroger's is going to be like right next to the Xerox place. The other two that he's talking
Amazon's
about
out
are
east,
um,
head towards the prison.
there's the Xerox, and then there's what is that? Kohl's.
Okay.
There's
River,
Xerox,
River
Kohl's,
City.
and then there's two new empty ones, and then you go a little bit further down Yankee, and there's a third one being built down there too.
Okay.
So do we think these will be grocery delivery distribution sorters?
The one that Kroger's is building is supposed to be grocery delivery. It's supposed to be, I think they said 80% automated. And it probably won't happen for the next 5 to 7 years. But it's being built. They've got the land.
Lots
our
of robots.
Kroger in Monroe
Yeah.
is supposed to be one of two sites that supports this Microsoft self-pay thing. There are only two supposedly, one in our store and the other one's in Redmond, Washington.
And nobody at our store knows how it works.
Oh, okay.
No.
Not surprising.
Nobody's been trained on it. Nobody knows anything about
It's a
it.
secret.
When's it supposed to be operational?
It's supposed to be operational now.
It- Supposedly, it's supposed to work now if you know what you're doing, but nobody knows what they're doing.
Well, they had it closed the other day, for whatever. So apparently it's open Sunday. We'll have to try it someday.
Pat-
You should try it.
Patty said she has to get a training for that. It's because I guess it's very different on how it actually works.
You have to bring her in for a training
It's a
session.
smaller Kroger there on 60. My dad lives on Wicklow. They go there.
I say we got the tour of the Kroger's stock just before I left, and they were talking about a lot of their new shelving and everything for like automation. So like one of the things they're doing for like the automated shopper stuff is there's digital signage
Yeah.
on the thing. So like when the employee that has an onboard Bluetooth tag that's bagging stuff for people, they're looking for the logo for the different customers they're doing. So like a green triangle or a blue circle will show up under the device what they need to pick off the shelf for the customer they're selling.
Monroe has those smart
Already
shelves.
do they? Yeah.
And I was told, I haven't tried it. I was
You can
told
pick
that
your-
once the system's completely operational, if you've got the Kroger app on your phone,
It'll do it for you too.
it will start showing you where the stuff actually is on the shelves
Yeah.
and telling you how to get to it.
Oh yeah.
That would be pretty
That's
cool.
what they're going to.
Yeah.
They've had the ability of tracking people through their stores for years.
But
The fact that they're pairing it up is a little spooky, but
if you look at the end caps, there's little teeny tiny cameras in every one of the end caps.
oh yeah.
And They've got tracking cameras all in the machine.
Yeah. Well, they just say that they track the
Oh,
Bluetooth
no.
and pair what aisle you spend standing in the whole 9 yards for years.
Yeah. It's.
Heat traffic and.
I think the one in Monroe, they're using it as a little bit of a guinea pig.
Yeah. Well, that's because their research center was at their development center was where we were touring there in Blue Ash.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had like a wall of like 18 different monitors that track what all, like different things and statuses and how many transactions per second. And it was really weird, or kind of wild to watch. The whole bottom 4 were dedicated to coupon system.
Yeah.
Because they auto push coupons versus people downloading their own coupons and track all that and transactions per second to make sure there's no lag in the stores. If if it takes more than like 5 seconds per transaction or something, then they start getting a little antsy about their communication to the register.
Well, if I'm in the middle of aisle 7, how do they know I'm there? They know my cell phone?
Your cell phone,
They've
facial
got motion
recognition,
tracking
yeah,
cameras.
motion tracking, yeah. I mean, it's wild.
They probably have machine learning, so they know the
Oh.
last time you were in that spot.
Yeah, they
They,
do.
the one in Monroe that I've seen the back room. They've got a huge screen back there that they know when the product has been removed from the shelf because the motion tracker can tell you exactly where that product is in that store. And they know if they need more product on the shelf because they know which products are low because the motion tracker is tracking the product.
You mean it's tracking it in my basket? So
What are they using to track it?
Yeah, how do they identify it?
It's
It's kind of
Some
like
kind
a
of
facial
tag.
recognition tag.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
RFID.
Well, so that one of their premises is on the next generation store that's supposedly going beta at the end of the year or something, or if they're already doing it.
they're doing it sort of.
You don't have checkout lines anymore. When you pick something off the shelf, it automatically bills your phone app
Amazon's doing it.
while you're carrying it in your bag.
Okay, and then we still haven't defined what they're using to read the.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's like your
vision. It's a vision sensor.
it's like,
reading the barcode.
hey, here's the bottle,
It's probably an
right?
RFID tag.
You're carrying that bottle down the thing, right? So it's like the bottle.
It
This
identifies
tag
it's a
that
bottle.
you're carrying the
There's-
bottle
How does it know what flavor it is and
They-
what variety?
because-
from where you picked it up off the
because-
shelf.
They've got all the smart shelves that they've got have weight sensors in them. They know how much everything weighs, so they know which one you picked up. They know how many of them you picked up, and they're watched you put it in your cart or in your backpack
What
or
if it's
wherever.
in the wrong place? You
Well-
got the salt version of green beans and you got the unsalted version. They weigh the same,
Someone picks it up.
and somebody puts it in the wrong slot.
They can track that too, because evidently this system is, if you take it out of your bag and set it down somewhere else in the store, it won't charge you when you leave the building.
Yeah.
They know that you
Took it out and set it down somewhere.
got an orphan item laying in aisle 8 when it should be in aisle 3, and it knows that.
And
Yeah.
it'll track if somebody picks that back up again.
It's spooky as hell.
Amazon
To me, anyway.
Amazon
But,
actually
I mean, it's cool.
actually developed it.
But it's really spooky.
Well, the system that they have up in Dayton covers what, 650 square miles, and it tracks.
RFID.
No, this tracks every individual within that and where they go.
Yeah.
You mean
Yeah.
people?
People.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't know that.
Where do they have this in Dayton?
It's
Oh,
all
right
of
back.
downtown Dayton and surrounds. I don't know exactly what the
So
boundaries are.
they monitor the whole area.
Everyone in it.
You mean at Kroger?
No, the town.
downtown.
Oh, downtown.
Yeah, you
Downtown Dayton. there's-
just
By
don't do anything
phone?
bad downtown.
By phone.
I know, it's optical from
Satellites and stuff.
satellites and
It'd be
cameras.
cameras all over the top
There's
of the
cameras
building.
everywhere downtown. Just go down there and look.
Most of England's been rigged like that for 10 years.
China does that too. They follow everybody.
Person of interest is a great example.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's what, I mean, that's what it is. New York's done it probably 10 or 15 years ago
1984,
too.
Allen
Well,
So
New-
you
New
can't
York-
get away with anything in New York.
George
City.
Orwell.
If there's a bank robbed, they know who it is.
You can,
The Truman Show.
it helps them, it's not perfect, I
I
don't.
saw in China
It-
there are
it can get better,
at the
though.
airport,
Well, I was gonna say, it depends on how level,
have
how much
camera
money is thrown at it and
on your
spent
face,
into
show
it.
your
New-
schedule for flying.
New
Wow.
York,
Whoa.
they threw a ton of money on the system in New York,
They've
especially
been
after.
discussing that.
I
for
look
a
at
while.
the screens,
Oh, I'm sure.
I wouldn't mess with New York too much.
Wow.
Remember the Minority Report?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pre-cogs? Yeah.
Pre-cards.
We'll be there.
Rescue for pre-crime.
You had some bad thoughts.
Our demographics say that you're about to do something bad.
I knew that every piece of mail in the United States is photographed,
Yeah.
and that's
And it's in a database somewhere and people are buying it. Facebook, for example. That's where your friends requests come from.
Well, I'm not certain that I want to be friends with many of the people that request me to be friends.
Well, I'm just saying, I have seen Facebook pair me with people I've only talked to through mail. And I was like, how the hell did I even know this person in New York, right? It took me a long time to understand. And then when somebody told me that a few months ago that they photograph every piece of mail that goes through, and Facebook has access to that database, and they pair up people that you communicate with and suggest them as references on Facebook.
New license plate tracking on the interstates, and newly the mail, and this thing was just recently introduced to me about dating and tracking individuals.
Yeah.
So who is doing
Cincinnati, it's Artemis.
it? Is it the government?
It is, my understanding, it is the government.
They just want to help.
Which one is the question?
Why
Which
would the-
government?
why would
Yeah, the shadow government or the good guys
Oh,
or somebody
jeez.
in between? Just saying.
And why are they doing Dayton? Is that because it's near Air Force Base
No.
and it's just an experiment?
They did a
FBI,
lot of
CIA.
new building down there. New condos, they redid the library.
You ever watch the Marvel movies? The Hydra inside the
Oh, yeah.
shield.
Hail Hydra.
Who's on which side?
You got room for
Yeah.
them in that other.
So they're gonna track everybody.
Oh, you gonna take mine?
Well,
One of your bottles.
unless you really need
No, I
it.
don't need it.
All 7 million, 8 million people here, unless you live in some undeveloped land that they don't have.
They'll
Oh
just-
wait, you
they
mean when
just
you
keep
get out
me
to
from
where
losing
cell
it.
phones don't work anymore, they can't track me?
Or you gonna give somebody else to
I
the-
was gonna offer our new.
Yeah, I don't know that I would break them, so. You don't do this very often, so.
Now, Google also is all the photographs we take on our cameras that are uploaded.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're going through those like crazy.
Yeah, they're photo tag. I don't know if I told you about the lady that did a security thing at one of my conferences the other day,
What is this?
or 2 months ago.
It's a 4 by
She randomly
4
picked somebody off the internet for her talk, and by 40 minutes into the talk, had
4 diameter.
his birth certificate, social security number, his daughter's, where his house was, his mortgage. They just gotten divorced 2 months ago. The paperwork of where his new house was by the photograph on his social media. Found like 15 of his social media accounts. Found a dating site that he had signed up for, and
All of his kids.
the posting of how he was upset at work and didn't like what he was doing any longer.
Wow. So I guess if you do Google, they're gonna have pictures of you,
Yeah.
and if they're selling that,
And they pair. So like that's how she found his house, because the metadata and the device of what he took a photograph with, you could search that for that metadata tag for that particular camera and find more pictures that that camera has taken, and found one in the front yard. So then he found her mother, who had also taken a picture at the same geolocation, and found out that was his new house that he had just bought like 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
because of the data tags inside the pictures. I was like, that's insane. That
These,
there's sites that track that.
these pictures came from Vicente,
Yeah.
who has been trying desperately to connect to the TV, and
encoders of the hoverboard will use the other one. This is the encoder. It's very critical, the angle between the sensors.
This is a hub motor
Hover motor.
that set the contacts. We're bad at setting contacts.
Last week I showed the hoverboard motor with a controller controlling the speed, and now I am planning to find out the position and the distance with the encoders, optical encoders in reading a disc of.
These hub motors have 6 sensors in them, three
Hall effect sensors.
Hall effect sensors, and the motor and the wheel is together. They're pretty heavy.
Yeah. See, the wheel is the motor. Yeah.
And he's got bars cut all the way around, so that when it goes by the encoder, he'd get the exact speed. That's what there are stripes all the way around that, see, but around it, and then the decoders are reading that. He can get very precise.
Those
speeds.
sensors are very cheap. You can buy 10 of them for $3, and they are used for the line follower robots.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
They need to be maybe like a quarter-inch distance from the paper or the mark. And I'm using this, but the problem was to keep them exactly a half distance of the marks would be every distance. You need to use a quarter of the cycle of the signal step. This displays a half a step off. Yeah, half step.
The two sensors.
To identify the direction. You are exactly a half step instead of quarter. You have the same signal in both encoders, and you don't know in what direction you are going. You need to displace the same a quarter of the shape of the wave, of the square wave.
Okay. Now, your detectors have two.
Two emitters and two infrared diodes and two infrared transistors.
Okay.
No, one each.
One each.
One emitter and one receiver each sensor. So you need
Okay.
two sensors.
I thought most of those had two in each one.
Two of them. With one sensor, you know the speed and you know the distance, but you don't know the direction.
Even the direction.
they look a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More or less. I am using this.
You're probably
This
using
one. This.
Yeah, you're probably using this one right here. It's the same sensor, it's just laid out a little different.
There is a better one that costs $10 each. Actually,
10 for free, one for
I
10.
bought the sensor. I need to make the
He thinks that was Leroy.
the sensor that is more precise. It lets you make.
Vicente schooled me on buying stuff
Buying
cheap.
Oh, okay, so Vicente's the master.
Yeah,
Leroy's the.
if we
I
really
have a
want to
video.
find cheap stuff.
There's a
I can
really good
share,
article I read about people who have been using optical mice for that job, but that some of the optical mice don't respond.
Was it possible to use the screen? But you see the.
This,
It has a lot of applications.
Huh?
Lot of applications.
Yeah.
this is what the hub motor came off of. So that's the motor that he's
Yeah.
made work, not on
Yeah.
the.
You can buy the spare parts, or maybe there are people that is breaking apart those
Individual.
other motors because they were decommissioned from the market 2 years ago, And there are people that sell in eBay the wheels for $27 or something. Which
Now, the motors themselves are DC. Or are they-
it's like an AC motor with use three-phase AC voltage.
Three-phase DC.
Three-phase DC.
They're brushless.
No, it's brushless, and you need to produce a sequence of.
They don't have a sine wave, like a three-phase motor, you're powering each thing in turn.
In sequence.
With this one, you're doing the same thing, except it's not a AC voltage, it's a DC voltage, so it's three-phase DC, sounds funny, but
Yeah.
that's
I
what
was
it
looking
is.
at the Hall effect sensors to know when to.
Switch coils.
To synchronize
Yeah.
the pulses with the position.
Yeah.
If not, it doesn't work. If you interchange one Hall effect sensor, it doesn't move because try to go always in the opposite direction than the sensor say.
And
So the
Start to
Hall
go-
that's like that's not the same encoder ring he's using, but it's like the encoder
Yeah.
ring.
So
You can
Theoretically-
almost see it right there. You can see the white and the black.
Yeah.
it's moving. There.
It's moving,
So you can't see.
so you can't see it. So you got white and black stripes.
Yeah.
So it's almost the same, but not really the same.
The whole.
in theory, then you could use the drive mechanism, your three-phase DC, to determine where the motor was. Because you're not going to pulse unless it's in the correct position. So this was something that I looked at where they had an encoder coupled with a stepper motor. And the stepper motor, if it skipped a step, then your encoder would say, wait a minute, you say you're here, but in actuality, you're here. But the problem that they were having was that the encoders themselves were failing, like the optical mouse. If you didn't start up at a particular speed, I don't know whether it was software or hardware,
Send three more.
wouldn't recognize it. So it's like getting a mouse and slamming it around trying to get it to move. So they had problems at both ends.
I don't know. I can attest that I miss my old Microsoft 1.2 generation laser 5-button mouse from 1980 or 1990. What, 8? They don't make them like that anymore.
Well,
And they're not $19 anymore.
Definitely not $19 anymore. Well, he sent me more pictures, but they haven't gotten here yet.
Did he send again?
No, I did get there.
It'll get there, maybe.
Uh,
There they are.
Gmail is a little slow
Yeah.
sometimes.
There it is. So,
Oh, yeah, there's stock. So you can see the paper.
so now you can see what's actually on the wheel. And his 3D printed thingamabobby. So that's the encoder ring.
That's so you can plot how fast the
I
pulses
got
you
a-
need to talk to it.
The regular controller for these things, you can buy them. I got them for like $10, something like that. And I got one with Hall effect and without Hall effect, and it's just tremendous difference in the torque. The Hall effects.
Well, for example, in this one, if you try to stop the wheel, the current increased to force the movement to maintain the speed. You try to stop it and increase the current and maintain the speed. It's very, very strong.
Yeah.
I'm going to start shutting down because it's about 10 till. So
Yeah. We still need a social media working to
Wow.
communicate those things regularly. You know, it's nice.